Hello, I'm ibxtoycat, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today, I have to go and do a bit of a fun mining project, which has haunted me for too long, and I've got a fun twist on it, which relates to how mining blocks works. So I'm sure we're all familiar with the fact that mining, say, a block of a coal is much faster than mining an ender chest, which is faster yet than mining a smithing table. These are facts that shouldn't be surprising, and presumably are not. However, the block in the game which takes the longest to mine is probably often mistaken to being obsidian, because that's the longest for a block that you would probably ever want to use, but the actual longest is one I only learned you could even mine recently, and it's reinforced deepslate. It's a block that is so rare you don't interact with it on any real basis, and that you'd have no good reason to want to mine unless you were making an ice tunnel that went right through the portal. But today I'm going all the way across my world to work on my ancient city mining project. It was one I started after 1.20, at 1.19 even, and even after 10 hours straight, I did a Let's Play episode that was 10 hours long, and even after that, I still would say that it's about a half-done project. I've mined half an ancient city, but unlike with every other structure in Minecraft, where I can very really say that I have fully mined it, wait, actually, you know, it's a live stream, we can take a detour. Do you want to see something fun? You might not have, if this is your first stream or you're new to the Let's Play world, this is my world I've been playing for 11 years. And one of my projects that every time I look at, I'm genuinely amazed I did. It took me about 14 hours and was inspired by Mojang adding a big new structure, one that excited me. Isn't it possible to break bedrock, but it takes a week with a damn pickaxe? I think that's one of those myths that people like to spread so that they can make clickbait video titles. It sounds really right. That's why, you know, like, it makes sense they wouldn't design anything as being truly unbreakable in a block-breaking game, but they did design bedrock to be truly unbreakable in a block-breaking game. And so, yeah, over the course of 14 hours, let me show you something fun I did. This used to be a bastion. You might not be able to tell, but right now it's just a bunch of blackstone on the ground. I flattened it. At one point in time, have I got the chests hanging out here still? At one point in time, this was a big bastion. There were chests up there, there were piglin brutes over there, and now it is flattened entirely. This is my goal for the ancient city, but after 12 plus hours, it looks as far away as ever. And so I figured, this green number here is the number of members we have on the channel. I figured as a way to maybe drive some memberships, I would do something unthinkable and destroy some of the ancient deepslate, the reinforced deepslate that makes up the portal. And so if every member that is a, you know, like a legit subscription, the again, I guess the way I'm putting that is like every member that is bought by someone, because the way gifted memberships works is it's effectively a tip that just gives people a you know, like a fun little test of the membership. And so for that, it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you for becoming the 492nd channel member. Thank you very much. Hey, speaking of thank yous,
Toycat tax for myself and wrote it because you and stuff or something.
I'm not sure that yeah, I Aroda is from it's a chat member who's recently joined. They're from Kosovo, and Kosovo is one of those not quite recognized countries. You need you know, like out of the 200-ish countries that exist, I think about a third of them recognize Kosovo. So is it a real country, chat? It's a fun question that we have over on the second channel. Over here we just say apparently that means it's hard to buy YouTube memberships. Thank you, Chris H, though. I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, for every additional member we get, as a way to help us move towards 500 members, one of my long-term goals on this channel. Hey, Paladin 4, thank you very much for becoming a member. There we go. Made it fit to the beat. I don't want to get into the middle of an international incident. Yeah, it's one of those really interesting cases where the way we define country immediately comes into a real roadblock when you start to actually try and define it, right? Like, everyone knows looking at it that Germany is a country, or that, say, Vietnam is a country. But even then, Vietnam at one point split into two. Did it really split into two, or were there just two governments of one country? You know, the United States has 50 separate governments, all of which make their own laws. So, like, it's clearly one country in the real sense of the word, but is it Is it kind of like 50 countries hanging out together? Depends on how you define country, or hanging out, or together, really. So I'm just gonna make a big pile of this on the ground. Future me can deal with the Nevrak. Love making things future me's problem. I'm not wearing that shirt today. I'm wearing my big salmon energy shirt today. If Kosovo identifies as a country, that's good enough for me, I guess, says Chris H. Yeah, but then Wales identifies as a country, and like, you know, what are we gonna do? We're gonna acknowledge Welsh people rights? Not in my lifetime. I do think, okay, let's get over to this village. Take a nap in there. Makes sense, right? Also, look at this. I just can't get over the fact that snow floats on dirt path, but doesn't go onto it correctly. It just feels weird. IBX, when
ibxtoycat when our white tool dog walks in.
IBX into RYC. I wonder what logic you used for that. Also, tool is the opposite of, you know, whatever. Very enjoyable. Thank you, a person. Appreciate the tip. I really appreciate the tip. It's, I think, been one of the harder, like, months on record in some ways. And, so it's nice to know when we go live to hang out and do a fun project. It's a nice way to make some of that stress dissipate. So, Kat, do you plan to visit Java Worlds in your Realm review as well? Honestly, every time I do it, no one's ever, like, infused about it. And so it's one of those, like, you know, like, it will make sense to do at some point, but that point doesn't seem to be now. Also, got a lovely chest hanging out here. So if you haven't seen my ancient city, it's right here underneath my mesa stairs. I put a little guard thing here so I don't accidentally fall in. It's always annoying to get through scaffolding. It never works how you expect it to. But yeah, if we just ignore all the pain getting down here, which we totally are going to, this is my ancient city. Everywhere you see right now previously had, seriously, all of it, this was filled to the brim with ancient city. There was a building here, there was a thing over there, and it's slowly been destroyed. The select 4 of you watching this stream will have seen all of those 10 hours. But yeah, basically the first thing I have to do is I have to show you destroying some reinforced Deepslate. So the one structure I was going to leave till last was going to be this, but I figured what might be real fun, so let's place a torch here and a torch over there and maybe a torch over here. I figured what could be real fun is if we make an exception to that today. So this is the longest block mine in Minecraft, and so this is for Silly right here. You have become a member, and so, oh, you know, I'm sorry, you get in my way, ally. And so for you, I will mine a block of reinforced Deepslate. So this takes 85 seconds, and unlike every other block in the game, it's not sped up by enchantments or the tool that you use or anything that you can do. A beacon, none of it makes any addition. Also, I believe that while my late husband was in the ICU. It is a, do you have a Discord to show you our builds? If you want to show me an interesting survival build that fits something I'd find interesting on the channel, share it on the Reddit. Reddit.com/r/ibxtoycat. Put your realm in the title if you want to convince me with it. That's a fun idea, actually. Do 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 do. Thank you so much, Lucaria, for becoming a member. Wow, you know what? Okay, let's do this. Let's go. This is my first block. This is for Silly. I appreciate you joining the membership club. One of the best ways you can support any channel you care about on YouTube. It's you get a green name, you get the membership only videos like the extended cut of archaeology. I don't know how to say. There we go. It's gone, chat. So here's the thing. What I've just done right now is a huge deal. And that is because this is clearly a portal of some form, right? Whether it has an intention or not to be used is debatable in the Minecraft community. But this portal will now never be usable because you can't craft these blocks. And I mined it, but I didn't get it back. And so now I'm going to mine a second block, but using a shovel. Just to see that it is different. You know, officially that's the case, but I've never tested it. And now, this is going out to, oh man, I wasn't expecting that. I thought this would be like a fun back and forth every now and then in the stream, but people love the idea of having an entire chiseled reinforced Deepslate be gone from the world. These only generate once with your world, and they make a portal, and once they're gone, they are gone. I am deleting this from my world, internet. It will no longer be there. Thank you, Haley Musselman, for becoming the 494th channel member. You're mining all of that, says Lubu. I mean, here's the deal. I wasn't going to mine it. I was going to leave it there in case they have added a use to it. But I figured today... Hey, we have... Funny username. Very fun. So this is for Paladin 4. I cannot believe it. But your block... It's going... It's I couldn't resist it. When I saw you were streaming, says Haley Musselman. You're not. You're gonna get to see this. Okay, it's about to happen. Everyone, get ready. Get ready. In just a few seconds, you're about to witness something no one ever does. Who would do this? It's a very valid question. It's gone. It will never come back. You can't mine it. You don't get it in the future. Once it is gone, it is fully gone. So now the third block we've got to mine. You know, Haley, this is your block right here. If you like looking at reinforced Deepslate and seeing it not existing, this is the future. Also good to see you, Ash. How's it going? Yeah, I wrote it, says Toycat, you're not going to enjoy 1.22. I work for Mojang, so I have early information. It's funny because like at this point that could be. Oh no! I shouldn't have hit the trigger. I was trying to move my finger from one to the other so I could grab my drink. Biggest downside of a controller is like it's very hard to do mining with your left hand. I guess it's hard to do mining with your left hand and a keyboard and mouse too. This seems like an abusive relationship where I join your club and then you lose something forever for it, says Wild Bill Miller. You know, if you want, you can join the membership club and you can specifically request that I do the opposite. I don't know what that would be, but I could do it. Also, you can always land into creative and put them back. This is a Bedrock world, not a Java world. But yeah, I guess in the... I think thinking is recently internet chat. Sorry, I give you two names, internet. It's weird when I say them both at the same time. That's your full name. First name internet, second name chat. Sorry for being formal with you. Oh, it's gone. It hurts when it goes. There's no satisfying crunch. It just stops existing. Oh, it feels wrong, but this one's for Weeaboo. Let's do it. Going good, thanks. Waiting for a percentage bar to hit 100. Oh, that's exciting. I'm glad to hear it. We in trouble, both names were used. Don't mind it with a sword, it goes twice as fast, says Goldberg Mania. We should I don't think that's true. I think it's all vibes. When you're mining this slowly, this is what I tend to notice. Adversity makes us create fictions. And that can work out really well. Like, we create fictions that motivate us. Like, I don't know, like supporting a bad team. The fans get so much more excited about it than when you support a good team, right? And there's many great cases where people are inspired by the bad more than the good. Also, maybe they mean the sword's durability. Yeah, that's true. You better brush one away for tradition. Hey, Wasbies! Thank you for coming, the 496th channel member. Are you excited? I'm about to destroy a block on your behest. Would you like to pick a tool? We've got a solid 27. Oh, you monster. I don't. Actually, let's test if this. Okay, I'm gonna use my Neverite hoe. I am upset with that LA. The LA's job is meant to be helping me, but that guy decided I want to stop you from. I don't like LA's. We're gonna make a big pit for them one day. Called it. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to it just to stop that from happening again. Like it could still happen, but it's gonna be a bit harder. Can I still become a member if I was gifted one? Says Sean Skeeter Sullivan. Yeah, it's an interesting one the way it works. I think you might have to wait for the membership to end, but you might not. It's someone's gonna have to take the bullet and test that one for us. I actually don't know. Speaking of that, thank you, Wasbies, for being the 409. Oh no, sorry, that last membership was a gifted membership. Thank you. Like I said, I think gifting memberships is it's a Twitch tradition, as I understand it, that's like come to YouTube. And I like the idea of like, it's a way to tip not just a streamer, but also to say thank you to a community and giving a random member to someone. Loving the generosity state. Y'all are the best, says Dasher. Oh, I see y'all from southern Russia. Oh, I didn't realize how nice it is over there. Y'all must be really lovely on the hospitality. Do you love to deep fry things too? I don't know what this accent's become. I should stop it. Oh, so as we can see, you do in fact use up durability on your tool when you mine one of these. So we've now mined a lovely 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so now we're gonna mine the one for Wasbees. Wasbees, here's your block. You're looking for it. Also, thank you, Angelic J. Yeah, when did Dasher become a mod? Dasher is officially a moderator now. It has happened. It's a big deal. It's I feel like it's one of our first moderators who's not a member. You know, valid reason. Give her credit. But also, yeah, it's one of the longest term viewers. I think a lot of people used to, like, we still have a few viewers where it's like, yeah, I never am the person who's like, yeah, I only listen to people who tip or whatever else like that. Like, I think like any club, you care about people who care about you, in general. And so that's the downside of it. But the upside is Dasher's one of the loveliest people here, already very helpful, and now has the ability to send you to an eternal pit of shame. Put a haste 2 beacon to make it a second faster. I think I used to keep a beacon down here. That might have been why I had that big tunnel up to the surface anyway. I was mod 8 months before I was member though, because I thought that was cooler. Your mod badge should say how long you've been a mod for, really. It's a desert well, but I don't know what that is. But yeah, congratulations to Dasher, and congratulations to Wasbees. Look at this. You used to be bees, but now you are the proud owner of a destroyed, reinforced Deepslate. It's a bit like vandalism. You've got to admit, right, chat? Like, it feels wrong that this has happened, but it has, and we've got many more blocks to go. If they ever make this into a portal, I will feel regrets. But I think we'll roll the dice on that one for now, and also we'll start mining the rest of this structure because I've been meaning to get for that for a while. This can be my opportunity. Let's do it. Please check your member count. I think you missed one. Oh, thank you. Okay. I got one of those scary like zooms all over my phone, but it can't have been anything important. I'm having a bad relationship with my phone. I'm glad like it's happening more broadly in the world, but it should be like a. Also, do I mine the chilled deep slate, but then use a? Yeah, I guess I've got to use a silk touch tool for these. Make sure I get them in their true authentic form. Although, is the deep slate even part of the structure, internet? I would argue it's not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not. It's a part of something else altogether. It's just the ceiling. Although it is hanging out here attached to nothing, so it's hard to be sure. She was a long-term member for a certain event happened. Yeah, you're right, actually. We missed the person between Paladin. We missed Lucaria. Okay, Lucira, are you here? I'm sorry, I didn't mind a chiseled deep slate, a reinforced deep slate for you. I keep calling it chiseled. I made the mistake once, and now I've got to make it forever, until it becomes true. You know, that's the thing we do. We make fictions in our head to change the world around us. Because when you make a fiction strong enough, it shapes reality. It's a powerful thing that we have the ability to do. And so when I'm mining a block right there, I'm like, you know what, this would probably be faster if I use the sword, or if I just had a beacon. And it will feel like it's faster, because the way that we imagine the world affects how we see the world. Again, this sounds like the most hippie, crazy thing, but it's real, right? People who envision their own success are more likely to win a race or something. Because when it gets, push comes to shove and their body's like, I'm really gonna give up. They're like, no, because we're gonna win. The stakes are higher than if you're like, well, I probably wasn't gonna win anyway, so I'll give up right now. It's a really interesting thing, like a lot of people make it out to be some magical ability, like, oh yeah, you visualize it and then it happens. And that's magic. But we really do have the ability to affect the world around us by believing that it is different than it is. You know, if you believe in a world with no barriers and no whatever else, if you believe in a world with lots of barriers and lots of things that maybe other people don't like, you can make things appear regardless of what you are saying, because that is the effect that you will have. I was about to get my 2 membership back before certain world events happened. I wonder if after all this time, it like comes back. I really do wonder. I don't know the answer. I'd like to believe I know the answer, but I really just don't. So I'm gonna place a torch over there, and we're gonna mine straight at this again. It's just so dark here, and it feels wrong to leave these blocks up here, but also it feels wrong to mine them. Yeah, they're definitely part of the structure. I think that's fair to say. Let's get in here. Let's mine all of these blocks if we can. And also, let's try to go to sleep to make this happen. So, yeah, for my next one, I'm going to mine it with a netherite pickaxe. And we're all going to believe together, chat, that it's mining faster. Like, just think to yourself regularly, like, is this mining faster? Bet it's mining faster. And you might just see it. It might be true. We don't know for sure, right? Toycat, who was the first member? If I'm not mistaken, the first member who is still a member on the channel is KitKats. I would have to confirm. She hasn't been around for a while. She's like one of the longest term mods. She's gone through some stuff in the real world. But yeah, that's the simple of it. So Cat, you're ruining your life because you're not using a beacon. How could you? Oh no, you're right. These blocks would be helped by a beacon. What's the most underrated thing in Minecraft? I like the turtle helmet. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that really could help out that people are just kind of sleeping on. Maybe understandably. Hey, thank you, Shannon Riley, for becoming the 497th channel member. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll mine Shannon's block, then we'll come back for Lucy Ra. We haven't confirmed they're here, but I'm going to trust that you are, and you're non-verbal, Lucy Ra, and that you do want me to mine this block. Let's go. Oh, Shannon, do you like that this block is going to vanish for you? It's going to, at one point, it's going to be here, and then not much longer it'll be gone. By the way, look at this. I'm using a netherite pickaxe, so it's mining much faster. Like, if you think about where we'd be without the netherite pickaxe, we'd be like 10% slower easily. It's making a big difference. You'll mine faster if you sing sea shanties. Man, I love sea shanties. I like that they had a resurgence. They feel real good. Also, yeah, you'll need Silk Touch 2 for stuff like this. Silk Touch 2, not a terrible idea, right? Getting able to rearrange some more blocks in Minecraft might be real fun. The societal downfall without netherite. Something about monotonous and time will fly by, like in By the Weather, or in your case, something that causes an existential crisis. Do you think existential crises cause my time to fly by? That's interesting, huh? I do think there's an interesting... there's a lot of stuff in the real world to be gone through. For real. Okay, chat. Let's talk about real life stuff, huh? I've got a very serious Let's Play coming soon. Because I think I want to start... I want to start something fun, something fresh. KitKats is the longest standing member, and Cat Beanie is number 9. Hey, thank you! Craze Coaster Enthusiast just became a member. That's right, this block is for you now. And then we got a gifted membership. Thank you. I can't believe that block was mined slightly faster, says Can of Beans Productions. You saw it, right? You totally saw it. Couldn't figure out how to make a membership when being gifted one. Figured this would be the next best thing. Oh, so it doesn't even give you the option when you're already a gifted member. That's a weird system. Sorry to hear about it, Sean Skeeter Sullivan. Hope you're doing wonderfully regardless. But yeah, Craze Coaster Enthusiast. This one's for you. How are you feeling about it? This block, we could put anything there in its place. That might be a fun idea, right? We could rebuild the portal. Take some of this Deepslate tiles. Also, I won't get my blocks as Lucy Ra. We got you. As long as a member doesn't come in the next 20 seconds, your block is... Wait, let me show you your block. It's just over there. Do you see it? Out to the... It's wonderful. So, Kat, what do you think about self-fulfilling prophecies? Yeah, the self-fulfilling prophecy is a fancy way to describe what I said about, like, when you believe in yourself more, you can push your body further, because there's a huge link between your body and your mind for a lot of people. I would like this not to be true. I would like there to be no link whatsoever. Okay, Lucy Ra, your block, it's happening. Oh yeah, it's going away soon. Rebuild it with netherite blocks. Oh, that's a fun idea. Yeah, people would genuinely look at it and be quite confused, right? I usually watch these after, but I finally get to see it live. Good to see you, Yawning Yeti. Hope you're doing wonderfully. This is the most exciting live stream I've done in a while. I'm mining the longest mine block in the game, and so it's a very exciting time, let me tell you. I appreciate you, I don't care if I get a block. I just enjoy watching the stuff. Should ask my money for hubby to keep it this time. Maybe each member could choose what block they want you to replace it with. We should definitely be using netherite blocks though, right? No way there's not. Toycat, is there gonna be a super flat season 2? I've wanted to for a while start a streaming. I want to do the ultra flat survival. It's a thing I would really enjoy doing. Definitely a good idea. Also, is it longer to mine the vault, or the new spawner? Those new blocks, I haven't checked the times for. I do believe that they might be longer, but they're currently in development, so you can't say for sure that they're longer. Although, yeah, you get pretty far in there. Okay, after this block, it's gonna be done. Oh, that's our. Yeah, we have now mined a block for every member we've received during the stream. If we mine 2 more, we'll have officially made it like every other block in this portal. It might be fun to mine every other block in the entire thing and then fill it in with something. Like, doesn't this look kind of cool, chat? What do you reckon? We could also go with like pure Deepslate. You know, it looks a little bit less magical, I'll be honest with you. We also have chiseled Deepslate. I keep mixing it up. Could throw it right in there. What do you reckon, Internet? We've got lots of choices we're going to have to make. But for now, let's make a more fun decision to grab some torches. I have plenty of them. I should definitely be making plenty more too. Torch, 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 torch. Throw the remains in here. And let's go lighting some stuff up, shall we? So, yeah, imagine he lets his finger off a block. Yeah, the ally messing with me just then was one of the most painful. Like, there's something about lost progress that it doesn't matter who you are, what part of society. It hurts when you put a lot of work into something and it amounts to nothing. We're all doing work for various reasons, but we at least would like to be making a difference, right? Okay, speaking of making a difference, let's start making a difference on the ancient city more broadly. Because we're mining all over the place, I don't think a beacon even necessarily works here. But it is still sad not to have one in its own little way, isn't it? So, judging the announcement of what the portal does and why it'll be so valuable after this stream, says General You can imagine that's just my luck. Speaking of just my luck, Geno! Welcome to the membership club. If you'll believe it, you are the 499th channel member. That is a fun thing to be able to say. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to mine a whole block of reinforced Deepslate. So let's do it. You know, it's been nice over here. I should probably make a staircase or something to get up to this, so I don't have to use a firework each time. How do you reckon I should do it? I guess I'll use regular Deepslate, and I'll make a little pile right up to the top there. Hey! Do 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 do. Wow, really wanted to be the 500th member. A lot of people all at the same time. Ben Dover is the lucky one, though. Speaking of the lucky one, awesome Noah Trap. Thank you for becoming the... Man, there's something interesting about milestones. Everyone wants to be the milestone person, so you can all collectively... Oh, awesome Noah Trap. You're the 500th member, too. You know, Cat Lord as well. Also the 500th member. It's crazy. You know, I could say that only one person gets it, and we could be like the real world, or we could be way more fun, and we could spend some time... Wow, Puddles 1010. Thank you for becoming the 500th member. You all are the 500th member. That's just a factual statement. I mean, there's 503 members now, but you're all number 500. In fact, you know what, chat? What if everyone's number 500? How does that sound? We can all be member 500 on the stream? Sounds like a good idea to me. Welcome to the club, everybody. ID, you can do community polls for each block, and one choice could always be the Netherite block. I would actually love to fill it in with Netherite, but it would look bad and cost me my life sanity savings, you know? That's some nice communism, says Everett Lewis. Yeah, there's an interesting thing about distribution, right? That you can talk about endlessly on some level. But there is a there's an interesting problem that when you try to, there are some things that only have value because few people have them, and so definitionally, not everyone can have it. I mean, it's a, you know, like if you really dream of true equality, one of the underlying fixes you can never make is there will always be more athletically talented or more attractive people, and those measures only work by relation. So no matter how much you try to group people together, there are some people who will branch off to the side, and there's almost a cruelty about that in life. By the way, thank you, Blake the Snail, for becoming the 500th member. You know, so that by the way was Bendover's block. Now am I an awesome Noah Actually, no, that was Geno. This is Bendover. You know, Ben, I love Dover too. Clearly your name is really Bendover. I mean, it's it's a great city in the UK. Honestly, we mostly use it for going to France, so it's actually not that great of a place. It's the last bastion of civilization before going to the Savage Land, but also therefore it's the place that is most similar to the Land of Savages. So it's got a little bit of you know, a double-edged sword going on there. This has to be a metaphor for class struggles. It's definitely not toilet paper man. Yeah, think about it, right? I will toil away and I will destroy these reinforced deep slates. An activity that's so anti-fun that no one would ever willingly do it. They put it in the game in such a way that you would only want to do it if you had some punishment reason to do so. And yet, here I am doing it in exchange for your claps, your laughs, and more importantly, more directly, your money, right? Your real financial means. And so you think about it, you know, a little bit deeply. You're part of the problem if you. I do think though there is an underlying thing about basically everything in the world, that there are things you want to do and there are things that you don't want to do, and we have to assign a monetary. Hey! Do. This is a fake membership. Yeah, this is Harrison Gray. So what caused that to happen? Oh, it was a gifted membership from Pat. It doesn't show up on our thing. As known by that person on the stream, Pat, the bus driver lady. So that you don't have to always have expensive blocks. There's very go. Yeah, I do have to say, the part of this that really makes me reflect is that it's something I would never do if there was not a monetary incentive, right? Mining reinforced deep slate is something you'll do once and then say, that was terribly unfun. But when you involve money in the mix, doing something terribly unfun can become actually pretty interesting. This is an opportunity more than anything else. This unfun activity that I would do once and never come back to is something I am now on my 10th version of, and I'm excited for my 11th. Why is it that the incentive system did that to me? Oh no! I unclicked at just the wrong time. I like the avoid the ally minigame. I don't like that he's following me around. It's very unuseful of them. But yeah, were it not for the memberships, there'd be no reason to mine this. And so I wouldn't have the fun. But also, if not for the memberships, I couldn't mine this to have the fun. Unless maybe you can always mine chiseled deep slate, or reinforced deep slate, and you'll always have a good time. And actually, this is just me realizing that through the means of the support which I'm receiving. Maybe every activity is fun, but you just have to have the right reason to try it. There are hundreds of hobbies in the world, and yet the one I've chosen I've chosen the Minecraft equivalent of watching paint dry. The equivalent of watching trains, but I live in a part of the country where there's only one train a week. But I want to hang out at the train station all day anyway. The equivalent of watching basketball, but only when 2-year-olds are playing, and I cannot imagine. Also, people have paid $5 to watch you mine a block. Yeah, exactly, right? We take a system where you would never do a thing, we add bribery, and now it's not just logical that I do the thing, not just expected, It would be bizarre if I didn't. It would. We have changed the system entirely. I'm gonna have to avoid that alley quite hard. But yeah, watching Prismarine change colors, says Living Murphy's Law. Man, watching Prismarine change colors is one of my favorite things. Oh, no, 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 don't you do it, Allie. Don't you do it, don't you do it. No. It's a fun game. This is that thing I was saying about fictions. Like, we have now worked out that I'm mining for 75 seconds at a time anyway. Over a minute per block. So now we have fun little games. We play Dodge the Alley. Oh, no, 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 no! I've lost this time. See, that was tense. Now when we succeed, there will be consequences. I've reached the failure state of having to start again. And now I realize... Why'd you have to hide from the alley, says Purple Cats? I think you left that comment just a second before you realized why I have to hide from the alley. It's fun, isn't it? This is good. This is... I've never had such high stakes. It's like if you were to get into watching paint dry, you'd be like, I bet I could watch paint dry faster than you can. I'll bet you a $5 my paint dries first, mate. You know, if we got into the equivalent of the train spotting, I'd be there at that station like, I bet I see some railway trespassers before you do. It's a, what was that Roadman accent? That wasn't Roadman, that was traditional English accent. I'm out from the countryside. It could be a pretty posh accent actually. It's a lot of complexities to the way it works. Oh, well, this is a different accent, I think. Yeah, something about so the reason when you just do a deep voice like that, you're kind of implying, what's it like, low class? It's something like that because you need to use a deeper voice to imply that you are threatening so that people do not threaten you in a way that you don't need to in, you know, like posher circles. I thankfully have never had to use a deep voice to I do the thing.
Use a wooden pickaxe for the next one.
You know, I am what I torture. Should we use a wooden pickaxe, chat? Let's do it. Ah, screw it. Also, after watching the recent video, are you changing your video type or upload schedule? Hey, Mark Barger, 505. We got the number of members that Terraria is made by. It's 505 Games. That's the reference. Or I guess that's the console port. I guess it's made by some developer with a similar name to Mojang. Heck yeah, wooden pickaxe time. Okay, I am what I torture. I'll use a wooden pickaxe. See, you're not actually also countryside Roman like. Oh, I'm from the countryside, but I'm still gonna be a bit tough, you know. I think this is sounding a little bit. This isn't wrong. Yeah, the class politics of dialects and accents is really interesting. Yeah, it's a I think I got in trouble when I said this in a real life situation recently, like a few years ago. So if you're offended by this, I'm just kidding. But it's my get out of jail free card. Okay, so let's talk about But women have more shiftable accents than men. You'll notice this where I'm sure a bit in the UK it's particularly noticeable that the strength of an accent is more like if you have a strong accent rather, it is more likely that you are a woman in social terms. Okay, so we're gonna go grab a wooden pickaxe, by the way. I don't even know where from. I genuinely couldn't tell you where from. We're gonna go grab one. It's gonna be great. And it's because of the dynamics of like, yeah, you're expected to like, the more neutral accent, the more people you can be on friendly terms with, which has an advantage to you if you are trying to find someone, whereas it doesn't work the other way from men to women. But you know, I guess it's the same way that, you know what's really interesting is humans are one of the few species where it's the lady who tries to like peacock and be all pretty. You know, like rather the word peacock comes from that one animal that has the pretty feathers, but the pretty feathers come from. I don't want to use the wood from this, by the way. I'm gonna use the wood from somewhere else. Where am I gonna find wood at this time of day, chat? You know, I guess I guess I found my answer actually. I believe what you're saying, but I meet poor people that are men with accents. Yeah, exactly. It's that's what I'm saying. Women will have more neutral accents, and men will just have to have the. It's less. There's a lot of social survival circumstances where you'll be seen... Like, there are lots of ways men judge other men based on their accents, and it is much less likely to happen that way as a woman. It just as an example. But there's a lot of other weird things that get built into accents because we use... Like, how you talk is indicating so much to the world. There's a lot built into what are just effectively some words. Like, in the same way that what you wear, you know, like, you might think that you're just, I'm wearing shoes because I need shoes. It's like, well, the type of shoe you're wearing is implying, you know, like, the reason that suits are a big deal is because it implies you have a very fancy job. Because we make people in fancy jobs wear suits because we need them to look like they're doing a fancy job. It's one of those, like, self-perpetuating cycles. But, like, you know, in the wrong situation, looking like you have a fancy job is an excuse to get robbed. Whereas in the right situation, looking like you don't have a fancy job is an excuse to be judged and shunned and not really socially recognized. And so, in this, accents have a similar behavior, right? Also, here we go, chat. I'm mining reinforced Deepslate with a wooden pickaxe. This one right here is for... Oh, my list is being covered up by Google Drive telling me I'm out of storage. Fancy suits are fun. You know, some people think so. Toycat, does efficiency work on Deepslate? So I'll tell you this. I just used an efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe. And now I'm using a wooden pickaxe. Can you see a difference in my mining speed? It feels like it would take the same amount of time to break with a weaker tool. It does. It feels incorrect. It does feel like... I agree with that. Did I ever say I really dislike technology, says Ash? I'm sorry to hear about your technology issues. Worth the money, though, says I am what I torture. It took a surprisingly long amount of time to get it done. But yeah, if you notice this feeling faster or slower, I've got some news for you. It might not be the news you want to hear, but it's the news you need to hear. And it's the fact that... Oh, look at that. Oh, it's something. Okay, there's going to be one more phase of breaking of the block. There's a few more cracks that are going to appear soon. Oh, there they are. Okay, we're there now, chat. Oh, no, there we are. There's going to be another one now that I've said that, though. Hey, it's gone. So, that was the wooden pickaxe. Did that seem faster or slower? Be honest with me. So now we're going to mine the next one while we're crouching. So just... Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. So this is POV, chat. You are a reinforced Deepslate block. Chat, how do you... No, don't do this. Don't do this to me. Okay. If he gets in my way again, I will be very upset. But that will be a reminder that I have to change. Also, slang sounds very offensive. People who don't know the origin. Yeah, that's like, a lot of slang is... Like, basically, slang is in-group, out-group. It is a way to define, if you know what these words mean, then you get to understand my meaning. Like, you know, like, language is a tool of communication. It's a way to reach as many people as possible. If you didn't want to have people understand what you were saying, you can communicate in grunts. There are people who will do that. You know, like, it's a thing that you can choose to do. But we use language as a way to say more specific concepts. But then immediately after inventing this broad use case, we then have people who bring it back down with slang being a primary example. And I think there's a weird thing about emphasis on words to, like, change things. But we narrow down the use of our language, which is to say, like, different words are entirely incomprehensible to different groups of people. And you think on a country level, yeah, but, like, me and my friend group invented some slang words. We made up a fake word for cigarettes. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep using the wooden pickaxe. You know, I am what I torture. This is the improvement that you have made to the day. And yeah, this next one. Wait, I'm actually gonna check before we start mining. This next one is for Blake the Snail, if I am not mistaken. What's the word? Says XRA fan. You know what words do you... It's funny, actually, because the most common British overall word for cigarette is deeply offensive in the United States. It was the funniest thing to me. When you go on the when you go on the internet for the first time, you meet some American 12-year-old that knows they know how to make people feel bad because they know how to hurt people and imply that they are the worst thing possible because they're like, I'll use the word that implies that you are gay and I'll use it with a hard T at the end. But like I hear that and I just think, oh, this is a 13-year-old on the internet. I've never heard that word and thought, oh, that person had some strength to them. Whereas I imagine to the target audience, you hear that word and you're like, oh. Did I ever tell you this? One of my worst stories is when I was first on YouTube, I tried to. I still try to where and when it makes sense. I'm not a social person, but I try to like to have a way, like a connection here if it is possible. It's you have to admit it's parasocial, like like it's an uneven relationship, unlike most of the ones you have in real life. But one of the first like people who I got in touch with, I used to just speak to people if they added me on Xbox. It was a fun little system. I occasionally still message people on Xbox to this day, but I added this guy and he was like real excited to talk, and then like after like 10 minutes, he's like, so now do a video of me. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound very good. He's like, do a video of me, you. And then he started like slamming the cigarette word at me. And I was like, ooh, this is someone has got this guy out of control. And it was a realization. It's crazy to me because everyone knows in the real world that like, yeah, people will try to use your trust to get things from you. It's not a surprising thing. But it was crazy that a 12-year-old had that in them. Like, you assume that you have to be jaded by the world to start, hurt people is a phrase I hear a lot. Yeah, hurt people do hurt people. When you are hurt by the world, you assume that is an acceptable way to behave around people, and so you start to behave that way. This is why, people will continue their accents and continue not wanting to seem like they're above anything, and all these different things, because and they'll even do that to other people, like, oh yeah, that guy's a partial anger, he is. You hear the way he says the word, oh, it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, it's a complex world, is what I'm vaguely saying here. By the way, this next one is for you, Mark Barger. Plenty of 10-year-olds been hurt by the world, sadly. Honestly, I think that's the sadder part of it, if you really dive into it, is like, I'm almost implying that he, that because you have to be hurt by the world to decide to hurt the world. What's really sad is he probably was hurt by the world at some point, right? That is incredibly tragic. I think, it's the weird thing though, right? We have this idea that at some point you become an adult, you're on your own in the world, you have to look after yourself. It's all your struggle, but also it hurts we don't want anyone to be hurt, but we ideally have it after a certain age. There's just something about like, yeah, if you are there are points in your development. So maybe this is interesting to you, but I've looked into what people might call split personality disorder. I met a fair few people in my life who have some version of it, and it's incredibly rare to have in its like fullest form, the imaginary TV version where you're like, there's two people living inside my brain. Hi, I'm Tim. Hi, I'm Steve. But what causes it is extreme trauma at a young age. Like, well, if you think about it this way, if you're hurt right now, it sucks. It feels bad. You have this bad feeling, and you think about what it is that happened that you need to not have happen again. Like it's a natural response to something bad happen is to say, something bad happening is to say something along the lines of, I will make sure it does not happen again. Kind of understandable, right? Ooh. Yeah, the younger you are, the more that messes with you, that like reaction. To the point where, like, if you are as young as 3, while your personality is forming, and that's a weird thing to say, but like who you are, like a baby has no sense of self. They genuinely don't understand that they are a person to some extent. So while that is forming, your personality is coming together. Who you are is being decided, for lack of a better word. if something bad happens to you during that has such long ramifications on how you develop, and some number of those people go on not to develop one personality, but instead, we have temperaments that develop at some point in the world from some set of circumstances. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to me, chat. I'm gonna go a little deep with you if that's okay. But I met my biological father recently, and I don't know if this is a common thing. I've heard that 50% of marriages end in divorce, but I don't think that 50% of kids are raised by single parents. I don't know what the ratio is. It feels a lot lower. So anyway, if you have a situation like me where you meet someone you're related to, but like really, really late into your life, you see something weird happen, which is that there are traits that you share with effectively a stranger. And there's something about that which is just inherently uneasy. There's a big debate in the world. You're probably very aware, the idea of nature versus nurture. We do not find it very easy to know for sure what is the more powerful factor in how you turn out as a person. Like, are you the way you are because of the world or because of your genes? No matter how you're treated by the world, your genes will hold you back. No matter how good your genes are, if you're, beaten and abused as a 3-year-old, you will have a lot of shortcomings, right? You're not shortcomings, but you have damage, and it's a. Is that the right word for it? Am I saying this correctly? But I think it's a sensitive topic. Gotta make sure I don't say anything too harmful out there. But yeah, there's something like inherently creepy about when you're an adult, seeing factors that you share with another human being. Oh, there's soul sand involved in this. What a weird block. There's something just very creepy about it, because seeing nature traits is kind of a realization that it doesn't matter what you do. If you're the exact same as someone who was raised entirely differently to you, then it doesn't matter how you were raised, which, like how you're raised you think of as being a parental thing, but partially you raise yourself. You make decisions about who you're going to be. But if you make those decisions and just coincidentally made the exact same ones as someone you've never known who made them 30 years ago, it's like, oh, so it's not actually like a thing that you can truly control. Toycat has an existential crisis while mining reinforced Deepslate. Don't we all? Don't we all? Is my idea for using polls be a bit boring? Is there a way to make it so people can choose any block in the game, or is it limited? I do think the idea of putting blocks there is something we're gonna have to do on like an artistic merit of its own, right? Or I could take bribes. Every time there's the true art is when you blur bribes with art. Under capitalism, if you think about it, all art is enforced, is guided by principles of what will or won't make money. And so in that same way, that's my argument at least. Anyway, it's important to know that even slight difference in your personality can change your reactions to trauma. Yeah, that's an interesting point too. It's everyone deals with bad things differently, right? No matter how big or small the bad things are. Do I have to pick up this wood? Work out where it's going to go. Also, do you think this basalt counts as part of the structure, chat? It's a hard one for me to level myself on. Hey, Sophie Hawkins, thanks for becoming the 506th channel member. Okay, Sophie, I'm going to ask you. We're going to take your opinion into consideration here. What tool would you like me to mine your reinforced Deepslate with? It's your block. You get to decide how it's mined. I'm going to give you preferential treatment on the exact decision you make here. You can put amethyst around it and magenta panes of glass, make it look like a new dimension. Yeah, I think that, yeah, the phrase hurt people is also implying that, like, oh, you have no control over it. But I also think that there are very few niche situations where you don't have control over your life. And even then, I saw a really interesting thing from Matthew Perry. I think he's not alive anymore. But while he was alive, just to be clear, he had a big debate with a like a religious person And that person argued that alcohol was a choice. And he was like, no, I am an addict. I am physiologically, I do not have any physiological choices. Like, it was a whole point he was raising. And I thought it was really interesting to hear that, like, because what he said, so he admitted something which most people would not when they have something that is destroying them. And he's like, after the first sip is my choice. After that, I am just going to seek it. It is the way that brain, you know, like, the moment that you let a substance take over, it takes over fully and it stops being a real choice. Also, yeah, I haven't seen Sophie. Sophie says, mine with a firework. You know, that is a first. I was not expecting it. But, you know, as your contribution to our artwork today, you can do precisely that. Matthew Perry was incredible, Rip, says Ezra Morgan. He was indeed. He was indeed. I sometimes wonder, you know how we have, like, we sometimes have, like, shame systems of, like, I know, for example, people don't like what that one writer who wrote those books about the magical school in Scotland, they don't like what she does in her personal time. She has a lot of opinions that are not mainstream opinions anymore. Oh, actually, I do wonder what the actual majority opinion is actually on the issues that she is not on board with. She's got some opinions about women or something like that. But the interesting thing about it is a lot of people try to, you know, they say that as a result of you having a bad stance, I will not be interacting with anything you do or with anyone who interacts with the things that you do. Like, they're like, you are a bad person because we disagree about something so fundamental to me. And I think it's interesting to think about, just a little bit, about this idea of, can you separate the artist from the art? I think ChatGPT and the rise of AI art and soon to be AI video, right? Have you guys heard about that? So a magical house at school in Scotland, Cat's house. I think she homeschools actually, so there might be some truth to that. I hope I'm not misremembering that. But yeah, if someone is there good art made by bad people, and is there bad art made by good people? I think the answer to the latter question is definitely yes. Hey, Miriak!
I giggled last week you said Dash's job as a neuropsych assistant sounds fake. I'm a forensic psych assistant. Is more or less fake sounding?
Okay.
I require a toy cat opinion.
So,
smiley face.
Mia Rock 19. Let me tell you this much. If Dasher was a forensic, you know, a forensic, you know, psych assistant, it'd be like, well, you know, I don't know how often she gets ill, but she's definitely foreign, right? That sounds believable to me. Whereas Mia sounds like, you know, statistically it's American, right? But it feels like you could be a domestic sick psych assistant. I don't know for sure. Yeah, no, forensic psychological assistant is one. Like, when jobs get so specialized, you have to break down every single part of it. So, like, forensics is like, oh, stuff to do with bodies and people having been places. Psych, it's like the psychology of people having done those things. And then assistant, it's like, okay, so you help someone else who does those things. You don't do them yourselves. There's so many steps to that job that it sounds like one you'd make up if you wanted people to specifically not ask questions. Although actually, you know, when I have to do that, because I don't. The one bad thing about having the job that I have is like, people have the worst questions about it, the ones you never want to answer. It'd always be like, so you get paid when people like videos, huh? Also, did I just mine an additional block for no reason? Oh, that's Sophie Hawkins. Oh, I mined one for no good reason after. But I probably missed one earlier, so I hope it balances out. Okay, so chat. We're running out of easy blocks to mine. But it's going nicely. Congratulations. So, isn't that crazy? I had no financial incentive to mine that block, chat. I just did it. I had zero reason. If anything, you could argue because I can get paid $5 to break them. If anything, I had a negative financial incentive. I now can't sell that block to someone And yet I did it anyway. I did one of the most uninteresting tasks in Minecraft for 0 to negative money. How does that make sense? It was a block for your girlfriend charity. I still think I need to, you know, like chat. Is anyone here a lawyer? If we legally get my girlfriend, if we get a girlfriend, change her name to Charity, can I legally say I'm giving money to charity? You know, like, please donate money to charity, and then give the money to charity. You know, I really think it's a solid idea. Does YouTube give you stats on how many members are considered regular players? Yeah, it does actually. We found it today. Hey!
So happy to be a member again. Means I can watch your bath vids while in the bath. Also, I'm surprised how quick it took with the firework. Embarrassed smiley face.
So if you want to know a fun fact, it takes the same amount of time regardless of which block you use, but it does feel wrong. Like using the wooden pickaxe felt like it still should have been a bit slower. But yeah, it doesn't care about what block you use. It just takes the same amount of time. No matter how wrong it feels, it's how the game does things. You'd argue that breaking the block in favor of the community increases felt community engagement and therefore helps you monetary-wise. You could make the argument for the opposite too. You could argue that by breaking the block for free, I've proven that, you know, people don't even need to become members, because I might just do the thing for free anyway. You know, I've proven that my services that I sell have an alternative that does not have a charge. You know, it seems like a bad decision almost expressly. Also, as long as you don't say that you are donating to a helpful charity. Oh, but charity's really helpful. You know, whenever I need a drink for the stream, charity's got me covered. Whenever I need a, you know, what if we register a charity and then we call it? Wait, yeah, let's do the reverse. I'm gonna register a proper, you know, a non-profit, a non-profiting arrangement, and I'm gonna call it Lobster Rolls, and I'm gonna tell people when they tip, they're specifically not giving money to charity. Oh, they're specifically not giving money to a good cause. It's just gonna go right to Lobster Rolls. Can I do that legally? It's much that sounds much more fun. I think I'd enjoy that. You know, if defrauding people, as long as I get to defraud people without defrauding people, I'm in for a good time, you know. Also, when you need to use charity's full name in legal stuff. Yeah, but it's not. Most streamers, when they do charity events, they just say, yeah, give the money to charity. You know, like, give it to me, I'll pass it on. And that's a legal way to give to charity, I imagine. I hope. If not, there's a lot of people in some trouble. Probably including me. I think a British lawyer would have a look at this. Crime is fine when it's legal. Well, so the clever thing about that, right? A lot of people look at the world and they say, how do people get off for things that are clearly crime feeling? And then a lot of things that feel like they're not illegal, people get in trouble for. And the legal system is basically, how do you convince a bunch of other people that you are right about this thing that you are doing? Crime is okay if it's funny. Toycat invents new ways to wash money on stream. Yeah, I guess you'd be doing money laundering if you did that. That was actually there was a huge case about this. A streamer used the stream, you know, like if you have illegal money, you tip a streamer, and if that streamer happens to be you, you'd be like, oh wow, look at all this money, it came from somewhere. And you know, like, to give it full credit, if any of you found your money from crime, I would have no idea. I would use the money for non-crime things like lobster rolls. It's interesting to think about. Crime's okay if you've got money to pay for good lawyers. I would say it's another layer more advanced than that. It's so, like, lots of crimes are okay if you can convince the public more kind of broadly that it's not a crime. You know, crimes are a written down version of norms. Also, Mia Roplin 507, welcome. Saying blankly, giving money to charity feels worse. What if it's a charity that murders frogs? Better to go to someone who gets you drinks. You know, exactly. I agree with Chantal right here. Toycat's whole YouTube channel is a money laundering outfit. Yeah, so all of the people who have tipped, like Mia Roplin is one of my alt accounts. So I killed 10 people recently, and I've got a lot of money sitting in overseas bank accounts. and I need to bring it in domestically, right? And so here's what I do. Are you allowed to confess to fake crimes on stream? I mean, fake crimes. Anyway, so yeah, Mia, what do you want me to mine your block with? I'll do it for you. And if you haven't said, I'm gonna use a wooden pickaxe. So let's do it. It's it's a nice wooden pickaxe. It's a good tool to use. Okay, so, let's go through here. I feel like we want to go as high up as we can actually to avoid bad things happening with the ally. There we go. This is as good as we're getting. Mia has not responded yet, but it's okay. You know, I hope you enjoy your green name. And like Sophie said, I hope you enjoy watching me bathe. You can do it in the bath if you want to. I remember those 10 murders, says the FBI. Oh no, the FBI's here, everyone. Keep it calm. Charity's real, remember. Don't tell them her name. Technically, everyone spends money for crimes sometimes because most people have committed at least a few crimes in their life. Yeah, the vast majority of people have committed crimes. And also, money has this really weird behavior where it kind of like, once it's gone through enough people, it stops being traceable. So a common scam. I'm gonna say this right now because apparently people get scammed every day on such an alarming ratio. And apparently there's a huge rise in scams targeting young people. Because if you've grown up with technology, it does kind of seem magical. And if, the things that you trust can be easily exploited. So here is a scam to avoid, internet. If someone gives you money, like someone you don't trust, someone you don't know. If someone gives you money and says, oh God, I really need that, please send it back. Do not send them the money back. I know that sounds cold-hearted. You should try and find, every way of receiving money will have a reverse payment option. If you reverse the payment, you can't be scammed. If you do that, you're good. But if you send them the money, they'll have sent you money from crime, usually someone else's account that they shouldn't have, and then they can use the money that they've been sent back legally. It's all good. It's weird that it works that way, but speaking of weird...
One of my biggest peeves is billion-dollar corporations collecting donations from customers so they can write it off on taxes and not actually have to pay.
Okay, coffee drinking lesbian. This is one of those hard things to do. Because I appreciate people who tip a lot. And I want to be polite. I want to be like, yeah, corporations. Because I also hate that corporations do that, right? Also, happily give to the Lobster Roll Fund and avoiding the Toycat tax man. Yeah, honestly, right. If I make a charity called Lobster Rolls and the explicit purpose of the charity is for me to eat more lobster rolls, that would be valid, right? Like, that is a charitable cause. We are increasing the supply of lobster rolls in the world. At Toycat, we saw the same Reddit thread. Yeah, okay. This is a really, really important one. It's happened this comes up once a year and someone falls for it. If someone gives you money, it's not legally allowed to be yours, but it can legally be but there's a legal process that they have to deal with. You don't have to help for a very long time, like 90 days or something. So don't spend the money, although if you want to be... There's a big legal case that came up where someone did that, but it's a whole thing. So coffee drinking lesbian, thank you. Glad to see a regular here on the stream. Also, I'm going to empty my inventory a little bit too frequently right now. I finally had a lobster roll that I placed in the Venetian. It was good, but not worth $20. So you're in Vegas, right? The place to get a lobster roll in Vegas. Actually, I don't know if there's like a killer lobster roll in Vegas. Now that I think about it, like the very best place to get one, it's the place in the Venetian that it's called Lobster Meat's pretty good. The one in there's one in Fashion Show that I thought was better. It might be the exact same chain. I'm getting it mixed up. But there we go. The very best one was from it was from way further out. It was from some random place called like Maryland Fish and Chips or something. I think that was the best one I had. As you may remember, I work for the police. Thankfully, policy and law making changing, so I fully support your criminal activity. Thank you. I appreciate you not telling the police on charity. It'd be a shame if charity were to, lose money as a result of crime. Okay, so to go back to, I really want to go back to coffee drinking lesbian. So I really want to say this. Also, thank you, Sophie Hawkins. Can I get another block?
Can I get another block? I've paid £443 and 25 pence worth of Toycat tax over last 3 months, so this is my bribe. If it is yes, can you use a brush to mine the block? Smiley face.
I want to know if this uses
Smiley
durability.
Face.
Smiley face, smiley face. You know what? Sophie Hawkins, thank you I'll give you another block. Are you the government since police support your criminal activity? You know, I must be, right? That's what I've officially become. Oh, no, don't do this to me. That is a lot of money, says XRA fan. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. It is massively. Also, HPT, thank you. Can you break the block at 6,000 minus 4,500 in favor of me? You know what, chat? We've got 70 seconds to decide on this one. Chat, you decide. Are we breaking the block at 6,000, 4,500 in honor of HPT? Yes, no, let's go. We'll work it out. So, I really want to mention. Okay, coffee drinking lesbian. I've lost this 5 times now. Good to see all the new members here. So I hate when corporations. I especially hate restaurants doing this too. I am going somewhere for a big event. You know, like I've got a birthday dinner coming up, and one of the things that they admittedly they're preemptively saying this, but like, oh yeah, we're adding a help for the homeless, £1 to the bill. No, please don't. The ally is really ruining my life right here. 90% of people saying yes. I'll go look at the block then. If it's a good block, we'll destroy it. So, yeah, here's the problem with it, in my opinion. Like, demanding generosity from strangers and making it an opt-out is not okay, regardless of the benefit. And so, to be clear, there's no tax benefit to them. The only time there is a tax benefit. So, for example, if they own the charity that they're donating to, that is a way to take what would be non-tax money and make it taxable, right? So, the block at 6,000, 4,500 is going to be over here somewhere. You know what, chat? I don't think I can make it to 6,000, 4,500. Yeah, you know, if we got this staircase, there's no staircase here. If we go up, I think I made one all the way over here. We did. So we'll go up the staircase. We'll find 6,000, 4,500. I've never seen that in a restaurant before. Is that a UK thing? Oh, I've seen it all the time. I think the American equivalent to, so you don't feel left out, is when you go to the grocery store, like Whole Foods in particular. Screw you, Whole Foods. They're like, oh, would you like to add a pound for basketball weavers in Uganda? And you're gonna be like, do I? Why are you asking as if the answer is yes? Okay, 6,000, 4,500. Whoa, it's almost a diamond. I should probably take that with me, right? I'll take the diamond. Hey, it's more than 1 diamond. It's more than 2 diamonds. Wow, 5 diamonds. This was a worthwhile side quest. By the way, thank you, Ryan Waite, for becoming the 508th channel member. Okay, so 6,000, 4,500. This is for you. I hope you enjoy your contribution. Okay, well. You know, I hope you enjoy your contribution to the art, but I am going to get myself out of this. PetSmart and Firestone make you opt out of the charity when you pay. Again, so regardless of the reason, I genuinely, I would love to see someone who knows the corporate structure. One of my pet peeves is when incorrect information, like very easily provable incorrect. So the way that taxes work is a very public thing. Like when you donate to charity, you write off the income, but because they're receiving that income, they're tax neutral for the donation, unless there's some benefit to spending X amount in charity. But it's presumably so they can say we donated X to charity, but it's not their money they donated. Presumably it's so they can maybe, if they have a charity for themselves, there are benefits where it's like that. But lots of cases it's like, no, here is a big charity, a very widely known one. We'll be giving the money to them. Maybe they get some like benefit in kind themselves, like the employees who set it up. You know, there's got to be something to it, but I haven't been able to work out what it is yet. So now I'm gonna mine this next one now with a soul lantern, chat. I feel like it's the logical thing to do. Ryan Waite. Here you go. I feel like you've been a member here for a bit. I recognize the dog. So we might have to actually remove the member for, you know, I don't know. I tell you, I don't care about taxes, says Master Tragedy. You shouldn't pay them then. Bad life advice. You know, give money to charity instead. I'm extra chatty today because I'm procrastinating. You gotta stop procrastinating. That's my belief. Go out there and mine your equivalent of a reinforced deep slate block. You can do it. I believe in you. You really can. But yeah, I do think procrastinating anything interesting. Oh, I'm currently, this stream is sort of a procrastination for a video I want to make about 1.21. Like, I want to compare where we are this year versus last year. I spent like an hour. I had a train ride yesterday. It's one of the most intense train rides in my life. But I spent like an hour and a half just like goofing around on my phone, looking at the last update, comparing it to this one. ibxtoycat. Dasher tells me to keep procrastinating though. Oh, you're right. We should do it. Clearly, it should be next person to chat. Say yes or no. Say procrastinate yes or don't procrastinate no. First person to say it, we should trust them. I love procrastinating. I'm probably doing it right now. Yes. Okay, we got lots of yeses. Intense train ride. Could that possibly be good? Oh yeah, it was so they cancelled the last train, so I had to get the second to last train, and then they cancelled the second to last train, and so everyone who would have been on either of those, this is a very niche story to care about, but you know what you asked. So like two giant busy trains from the two biggest cities in the UK. All those people had to get on a connecting train to Wales or something, and it was like a tiny train, like the sort of one you'd use on a cutesy regional route. And so it was the most like crazy packed train. Getting the train on Sunday is awful. I don't know how they get away with just being like, oh yeah, you know when you bought your ticket and you wanted to be here until this time? Yeah, we've decided you can't be there at that time anymore. And then also if you want to get out of here, we're not going to run the services. You're going to have to jump on someone else's train that isn't prepared for this. It feels like, you know, I don't know, like it was so crowded on there is what I'm trying to say. It's like it was, you know, there's levels of train crowding. There's like, oh, it's kind of busy on a train. I am feeling a little bit claustrophobic. And then there's, man, if if everyone fell over right now, people would die. People would be crushed to death. Yeah, why no compensations? It's a big stand. Yeah, I think one person said stop procrastinating. Thanks, chat. Are you doing anything for 500 members? Says Sophie Hawkins. So the scary thing, right, is I haven't, every day, the number of members to gifted members changes slightly. I haven't, like, I used to change the number every stream, but it was like super demotivating. And then I did it like every month, and it was like, it was hard to work out what day in the month to do. So I think the reality is we're going to celebrate. We're going to have a wonderful day with it, and then I'll go look at like, okay, the next time we start a big stream series, we'll look at what the number, you know, has gone down to, and it'll be like, oh, gotta work the way back up. But yeah, I'm really happy to hit 500. I think I have it's exciting to me in a very huge way, and so thank you to everyone, Sophie Hawkins included, for helping me reach it. Toycat's gonna free George from kidnapping. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, he did come round today. We had a long conversation. He drank some tea. I decided to be British that way. But yeah, I think we should have a bathtub stream. Yeah, we'll do a members-only bathtub stream when we hit 1,000 members. How does that sound, internet? You know, actually, let's make it more realistic. Let's make it 600. 600 members. I will do a live stream from a hot tub, a bathtub, something like that. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll put on my cutest lingerie. I'll say, you know, like go tee. You know, I'll really get the good stuff going for you, internet, and we'll make it work. So can't wait for Superflat Season 2, says Erode It. Yeah, I like basically everything on this channel. It's like, do I have a good enough idea and reason? It needs to be both. Is always what we go for. I'm gonna put this in there, by the way. It's not meant to go in there, but it will go in there just fine, I reckon. I'm reading its tax law. There does seem to be a benefit, but I don't understand the words being used. So, as the way that I genuinely think, so in the same way that laws are meant to be written, so there's a lot of flexibility for when people do something that's legally not okay, but socially and morally is. And then the opposite, when people do something that's legally okay, but socially and moral isn't. Tax laws are basically written in such a way that you're probably not meant to understand them, but instead are just meant to go, that's just what everyone does. There's a, I'm reading a book and they had a really fun analogy. They tell the story of them driving in a small town in America. And I thought this was a really intriguing analogy because they say, yeah, when you enter this small town, someone has a sign that says, slow down, police coming. You know, like something like that. And then when you drive into the town, there's a police officer with a radar gun. And then when you drive out of the town, there's another guy with a sign, and he says, tips appreciated. And so the guy the guy tips the person before later realizing, that there are two versions of that. One of the versions is where the guy, like the people warn you about police that are coming. The other is when they realize that they make money when there's police coming, so they hire one of their friends to dress up as police and do the thing. But the idea is that like when you go too fast, you're meant to you pay a fine, right? Everyone just knows like, oh, I was speeding, I'll pay the speeding fine. But actually, if you look into it, there are lots of ways you can get around speeding fines if you know the rules. But the rules are deliberately very vague and unclear, and even if you know them perfectly, you might not win because of the fact that people don't like it. And the tax system is basically set up in a way to be like, look, you should give us your money, but then here are the exceptions to it. If we wanted to actually tax people, we could just say, look, when you earn money, give a quarter of it to the government. If you get money for any source in a year, government gets a quarter. But then it's like, what about when someone dies? It's like, well, you can't take a quarter of someone's like life, whole life. That feels rude. And then you're like, okay, exception for that. What if someone gives you a gift? If your parents give you pocket money, should that be taxed? I was like, well, I mean, probably not. And you start getting real messy. Just don't speed, please, says Harrison Gray. What if I want to go places faster than I'm already going there? I think it's very, very rude of you not to realize that's a desire that I have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch out to my axe because it's got plenty of durability. And I'm going to use it to get a bunch of sculpt blocks. They're looking kind of ugly, and so I'm going to change that. I feel like you're meant to use a hoe for this, but I don't have a silk touch hoe with me, which is maybe my bad, really. So, how is inheritance tax legal, says Bendover. Do you see what I mean? Like, you feel like it's a scam to pay inheritance tax, but it's not a scam when you go out to work that you should pay tax. And it's like, well, yeah, because you need that money to... But why is it... We have weird lines where things feel okay and not. So, for example, you pay tax when you earn money, right? But then your employer has to pay tax when you earn money too. So you're getting, taxed twice there. But then once you earn money and you and your employer pay tax on it, so, your employer tried to give you 100,000, the government asked for 20,000, then they ask you for another 30,000 or whatever. Then whenever you go to buy something, you also have to pay a tax on the thing, sales tax, VAT, whatever you want to call it. And that's considered very normal. But the idea of like when you die and you give money to people who are alive, then you should be paying tax. You're dead. It's literally the least intrusive time to pay tax. Is also the most intrusive time. Like, wow, you're gonna take money from dead people and / like alive, their relatives are gonna go through it. What do you think of land value tax / Georgism? So here's the thing. Most good principled ideas start with a really good piece of logic and keep trying to follow that logic to its end conclusion. And, that's a valiant, it's a good thing, in my opinion. But I do think the problem with, so land value tax basically posits that the fairest tax in the world is a tax on land. Because land is the thing... Like, when a government does things that are good, they improve the value of the land near those things. So when you build, when you build a train station, you make the value of any land near that train station more valuable because now people can get the train to work. Or maybe the same if you have a car.
Right time
for a
off
highway.
now, Night Toy Cat. If anyone is curious why I've donated so much to Toy Cat, it's because I love home and feel euphoric when he says my preferred name, pride flag, white flag.
So wait, real quick, Sophie. You said pride flag followed by the French flag there? A little bit confused by that one. But Yeah, I've heard that is a one of the fun ways that people feel validated is in hearing, because you know I've said this before. I like when I like the name Toycat genuinely. I when people call me Toycat, I know it's a friendly source. Whereas if you call me Andrew, you could be my, I guess you couldn't be my mother. You could be my, you could be a teacher. You could be an airport employee. You could be a police officer. You know, police officers aren't nice if they think that you've been speeding. I had a $1,300 check last week and only got $800 off it, and then over 100 hours in sales tax, I'm sure. Yeah, there's a... there are some times where it's very accepted to pay tax, and sometimes where it's not. And those times are entirely made up by arbitrary social norms. But then the same is true for everything. Like, there are some times where it's okay to kill a person. Military, police, you're a doctor in a hospital. You know, there are times where it's okay to kill a person, and times where it's, ooh, you killed a person? I can't believe you. Spamatum Spamg! Thank you for becoming a channel member. There are times where it's okay to ask for money, right? I think I am directly asking people. I am directly asking people right now for money in exchange, like you just gave Spammerton G Spammerton, so that I may mine my reinforced Deepslate, because I'm providing a service.
That was a transgender flag. Stupid stream labs.
Is there? Wait, there's a
smiley face.
There's a trans flag emoji. I did not know that, Sophie. I'm genuinely shocked to learn, actually. I would have guessed that, because Unicode is, I want to say it was made in Japan, but it's now like an international standard, right? So I'm very surprised to learn, because, you know, the number of countries that would be like, oh, we do not believe in rainbow flags here. It's nice that they got through that. People are saying you missed a diamond, but I don't know where it is. Maybe other people in chat could tell you the rough location. I'm sure I didn't miss a diamond. There's a... Chat, are we sure that's not like Costa Rica's flag? I'm pretty sure that's Costa Rica's flag. Chat, put the Costa Rica flag in chat for me if you could. Just to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's Costa Rica. Anyway, I think that I think the important thing is that there are contexts where everything is okay and where it's not okay, because we're a very social-based animal. That's why, you know, to circle entirely background. What is this flag, and why are all of the cute girls from there? Yeah, I can't see any Costa Rican flags. Weirdly, chat. So, I don't know if anyone else is seeing this too. I'm on a PC. So, by the way, that was Spammerton Cheese Spammerton. Hope you enjoyed your reinforced Deepslate. Look at this now. We've mined so many reinforced Deepslate. If you add it all up, this is going to be like half an hour off this stream that has just been spent mining blocks. I'll be honest with you, chat. It would be nice, just for the sake of consistency, if we could mine 1, 2, 3, 4 more. I've gone to the point where all I want in my life is for 4 more members. You know, we'd be at 513. It'd be a real nice number, right? Baby blue and baby pink signify the identity in boyhood and girlhood. See, isn't it weird though that, like, to me, I think baby blue is a very feminine color. Oh, there's a diamond here. Yeah, we don't need it. Like, you could make an argument that pink is more masculine. I don't think it'd be a valid argument, but you could make a decent argument that, like, well, pink is kind of like red, and red is the color of things that go fast. And what, you know, they're like, pink is just white man's red, if you really want to push it. So yeah, what do you think about Mikhail Gorbahov's de-Stalinization of the USSR? Probably an important thing, right? No country should be built around a person. Hey, Salem! Thank you for becoming the 510th channel member. Okay, I'm excited. I'm so close to my dreams now. I like the Costa Rican flag in Salem's profile picture. Yeah, Salem, you from Costa Rica? Oh, that's really cool. I'm excited to hear about that. But you know, maybe I'm thinking of Thailand's flag that's suspiciously there. Use the wooden pickaxe, you know? Let's do it. Oh. What's the closest thing I've got to a wooden pickaxe? Flint and steel. No one will know anything's happening. You know, it's basically a wooden pickaxe. It would burn a wooden pickaxe. And if you can burn something, you are that thing. Yeah, so chat, I don't see any of the flags. I just see TH. Which one looks more like the, are all of these people from Thailand or Costa Rica? I mean, there's probably a joke about Thailand in there somewhere, but I don't have the social grace to make it without offending people, or without saying something incorrect at least. Costa Rica's closer. Okay, there's lots of Costa Ricans in the chat today. I'm happy to see you here. I think there's a reason. A lot of people like go online and they're like, wow, there must be like a big thing that all of these people are suddenly deciding to do a thing. I do think that the internet probably has a higher trans percentage than real life. A higher number of Costa Ricans rather. Probably because it's one of the places where you decide how you are perceived entirely. And that's what I think a lot of people want from the real world. You know, the point about, like, no matter how much you equalize things in the real world, there will always be people who are more or less attractive. You know, in the world of Costa Ricans, who there are people who are more, you know, look more like they're from, I don't even know where this is gonna go, but from El Salvador than from Honduras. But I think the overall, also yeah, we've mined our 510th member. Chat, we need 3 members now, and then we'll have mined every other block in this portal, and that's pretty cool, right? Maybe it was all for nothing. I've been recording this whole time for no good reason.
Logic. Can you mine something with rotten flesh too?
You know what? That's a good. You know, fine. Let's work it out. Let's find some rotten flesh, and then if we get a new member before the end of the stream, we'll mine it with rotten flesh. I bet there's some in this chest already. We're gonna find someone. But yeah, I've accidentally clicked the wrong thing. I think that a lot of people would really like the idea of a world where you truly decided how other people perceived you. Because it happens in real life, but with a huge delay, and with a lot of things where you don't truly ever decide, right? Like, it would be near impossible. Hey, thank you, WS, becoming the 511th channel member. I'm gonna mine your block using some rotten flesh if I can find some, and I bet I can find some, in fact. Okay, I hit the button, but I hit it wrong. It didn't trigger. So is there rotten flesh in here? 55 of it. Yes, there is. Let's go. In fact, I'll eat the rotten flesh first, even. Hey, Toycat, have you tried Soylent? What are your thoughts on soy?
Hey, Toycat, have you ever tried Soylent? What are your thoughts on soy?
So, I think there's a weird thing, right? I have to preface everything I'm about to say with one of the problems in the modern world. Like, if I say that soy is real bad or soy is real good, what you can really take from what I'm saying, let's see some more flesh first. What you can probably take from what I'm saying is not that I have some strong opinion on soy, but instead I'm using my words to indicate which tribe I'm a part of, in the same way that an accent works. If I say the words, you know, like, you know, all lives matter, or I say the word Black Lives Matter, they're both objectively true statements. If you listen to the words, but people don't pass words as meaning, they use them as symbolizers. They use them like flags. The word, you know, to say the phrase, that, you know, like a woman's body is her right to whatever, is saying something very different, even though that's, I don't think anyone would actually disagree with that, is very different to the phrase of saying all life is sacred, right? They are both true. I hope they're both true statements to you. There are very few people who wouldn't agree with them. And so I'm trans from Costa Rica, joking about Costa Rica bit, but not the trans bit. By the way, congratulations. I'm excited to see that you're from Costa Rica. I'm glad we have a lot of Costa Ricans in chat. So anyway, so Soylent is it's a drink made of soy. It's a meal it might not be a meal replacement, but it's a diet shake, and I have actually tried it. I find it to be really thin. There's a big soy is a thing that people bring up as like, is soy the protein of the future? And I think it's like probably more controversial than it would ever be if we weren't in a world where, again, like, whether you eat meat or not is really a really big personal decision, right? Like, you make your own calls about what you think about animals or about what you need in your diet. There's a lot of information that you have, and you can pick which bits you want to use. And so, yeah, in that way, that it's one of those discussions where if I say anything super, like, people aren't going to listen to the words. And that's why I prefer to talk about the deeper philosophical subjects, right? I think, also Soylent Green is people, is it not? I think, so Soylent Green is something different to what we've spoken about today, but I believe that Soylent Green is people. Try not to eat Soylent Green is my big hot take then. I think that it's bad if you eat people. I've heard about that movie recently. I've been intending to watch it. I like the idea. I love a good deep thing. But yeah, I do believe that we have too many discussions now, not on the basis of actually good faith trying to understand each other, but instead in using big generic platitudes. And that's a shame, isn't it? Like, we learn so much from each other. We learn so much from each other when we actually take the time to listen and think and reflect. And we get so little from being so tribal. But yeah, we'll still do the second one so often. And so, yeah, there's a few questions where I have to preface it with something like that. Because if I say anything more, it will become a whole thing. Even me talking about it and being very clear about, like, oh yeah, isn't it crazy I said a bunch of true things, but people listen to it? People are like, ooh, that was a big political talk, huh? And it's like, no, it wasn't. That was the whole point. I said a bunch of true phrases to anyone's sane mind, but there are some true phrases that are so politicized. In the same way that, like, I can jokingly say that I think murder should be legal, but I can't jokingly say something that is closer to home. Like, I can't say that I think that, I don't know, like a bunch of we should murder innocent civilians in Eastern European countries. Like there are some things that are funny, haha, and there are some things that people turn away from being useful topics of discussion into being a whole thing. And that's part of the reason why I was surprised that there is a flag, because rather than people talking about groups of people as people, people like that's the crazy thing, is because whole groups of people have turned into a thing for that. So Toycat, do you anything tasty today? No, I had some dumplings for lunch that were pretty good, and then I just bought a baguette, and that's been my whole dinner. The last 5 minutes of this talk answered my last question, incidentally. Perfect, lol. Oh, what was your last question? Hey, Toycat, what's your favorite color? Says David Simmons. You know, I think I did a very good job, personally, and I'm going to praise myself. But yeah, I'm against killing people. We should at least consider not killing other things, too. You know, it's interesting to me because I'm 100% sure at some point we will look back at the way that we systemically kill animals today as being indefensibly horrific. In the same way that, you know, people now would say, did we really just go places and take people's land and then just say it was fine because we're the ones that write the laws? And it's like, well, yeah, we did, but, like, you know, don't say it like that. In a similar way that, like, you know, that is seen as, like, no one's, like, pro that team. I think once we move away from killing animals, we probably won't go back. I don't know how that's what we took from what I was saying there, by the way. Jesus. Not me eating a whole cheeseburger during this conversation, now feeling shame and guilt. Yeah, so that is actually, that to me is one of the things that a lot of people will love, because they're like, yes, you feel bad. If you feel bad, you might start to change your behavior. But I take the opposite view on, like, I think that if it ever makes you feel bad, even though that badness might change your behavior in a way that's better for the world, I'd rather you not. Which is it is kind of a personality flaw, but also I know it's what being human is. But then some people would say being human is preventing people from murdering helpless blah 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 blah. You know, a big part of what makes us human is how we stand up for people who cannot stand up for themselves in a weird way. You gotta try Georgian food sometime. Oh, that'd be food from 1900s England, right, Dasher? Yeah, Georgian food. Yep, we have Georgian houses, so we'd logically have Georgian food. I guess pie and mash might be Georgian. Isn't it shocking when you look into food that comes from a country, how recent so much of it is? Like I think we mentioned on yesterday's stream, the day before stream, we mentioned at some point. Chat, we need 2 more members. I desperately, look at it. Look at my portal and tell me we don't need 2 more members. Do you see how there's 5 blocks there? We could separate them. We could do it. We could do it. But we just can't. The 1700s, but close enough. No, King George was in power and then... Maybe I'm thinking of Edwardian, actually. Oh, yeah. Maybe, you know, I will be back with a fact check soon. For now, though, let's put a ton of wool in here. Yeah, we got a really decent amount of wool. Let's put some of whatever fits in here. And just whatever goes, it's got to go in there. And then let's make some spaces in here. Okay, absolutely no spaces for anything, it seems. So we have to make another chest for some of this stuff anyway, right? Oh, look at this. That's interesting. Don't have a space for the skulk, sadly. Is there any space in this one? There is. A little bit of deep slate tile, a little bit of deep slate. Combine the stacks together and now it all works. Yeah, you go to enough chests and eventually you find enough stuff. It is crazy the amount of wool that I have here, by the way. I did not realize just how extreme that was. So, I do think that there is a... If Toycat doesn't have 2 more members by the time my munch break ends, I'm rioting, says Shelby Zimmerman. Okay, you know what, internet? Let's entice you. Nah, you know, I'm not going to entice people. We'll end the stream with it like that. If you think about it, it's more of a work of art this way. So, you know, can't stop me. Turn all of the wool into beds. Yeah, I could make an insane number of beds from this, huh? Really, that's what the ancient city's there for. Is for people who want to farm beds. Because where else can you go with a pair of shears and just tear it apart like this? Like, look at how much I've got already. It's absolutely wild. In fact, the only thing wilder is thank you, Diamond. Wait, Diamond the cat for gifting a member. You know, are you Diamond the cat? Like, are you a cat made of diamonds, or are you a diamond made of cats? I need to know. Someone needs to give me answers. And thank you, illegal 7.62 pounds. How did you decide on your username? I really want to know. The real 500 member is the one that completes the portal. Thank you, illegal 7.62 rounds, becoming the 500th channel member. As it is widely known and accepted, we have got 500 members today, and it's great. But yeah, we're gonna have so many of these. How many? What do we want to do? Make 1 trillion beds? I'm not even sure. Speaking of not even sure, by the way, they fixed a bug where fortune works on like if you want to fortune some crops, you got to do it soon, is what I'm saying. Not crops, plants. Do you remember I got an interim promotion like 6 months ago? Well, I went for the actual role and I didn't get it just because I've done the role. Doesn't mean I can do it now, apparently. It's I feel like organizations have very weird standards for what they want, right? Like, this is what I was talking about the charity thing. There's no tax benefit for a company to want a charity, but there might be some, like, benefit in kind stuff in there. So, like, I know a weird example of this is, like, I don't know, I have an extreme incentive, if I want to go somewhere personally, to want to go there on business reasons because of the way that that system is set up. Like, I can benefit personally for things that the business is doing. And so maybe the person who is in charge of your promotion, just to, you know, this is basically a wild conspiracy theory, but welcome to the internet. Like, maybe the person who could promote you, their benefit is not in having the best person do that role, but it's in something a little bit else. Make a big gray sheep statue. I think maybe we should at this rate, honestly. Maybe we should. Use the beds and mine the netherite to fill the portal. By the way, I have something exciting. I'm now going to mine the second to last reinforced deep slate. Hi, bro. How are you? I'm great, man. Toycat, I hope you're doing wonderfully yourself. Toycat, try Albanian food since Dash is trying it too, and you could stream it. You know what? I do want to go to Albania. It's that's where all the people with the... I'm not going to make this joke. But yeah, I was going to go to Albania recently. It was going to be like a Greek-Albania trip. It fell apart at the last minute for some reason. So, make a Grey Wall Temple, says Cyborg Bob 101. Oh, that's a good idea too. Chat, what do you reckon? Grey Wall Temple? We'd have it be that when you... We could build it over the scaffolding so you could get back in there. I think it'd be fun. So, Grey Wall Temple. Says Plume. Wait, did he... I feel like I already read that. Am I going crazy? Oh no, it's just lots of people suggesting temple. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. I've never tried Albanian food, actually. Only the King George food. Do you know? Maybe this is interesting to you, Dasher. So Georgian food is named after the same thing that King George is named after. It's the patron saint of St. George. And so that's why George's flag looks like the England flag, because St. George is our national, whatever you want to call him. He slayed a dragon or something like that. So he's also, the same St. George is the one that Georgia is named after. They have a lot more English flags on theirs. So with that said, chat, I secretly wanted to get one more member today, but you know what? I'm happy about one. I hope that you've enjoyed today's live stream. If you have, you need to get psychologically analyzed, because I mined reinforced Deepslate. What did you get from that? How did you get something from me mining reinforced Deepslate? What? No one would do this for fun, and I did it this many times, chat. We should have some questions. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed your time today. I've enjoyed it plenty, and if you did too, then consider subscribing to the channel. I will be so yeah, YouTube does give you the breakdown here and there of how many members are members versus gifted. So we do have to at some point. At some point, you know, people will unmember, their subscriptions will lapse, etc. That number will go down. So in case you see that in the future, in case it's by the next stream, keep it in mind. Also, Toycat Rambling is a good time, no matter what you're mining. Thank you, Miss Pat, bus driver lady. I don't know why I enjoyed that too much, but I really did. I hope that you have. I mean, what's bigger than a bus even? You know, coach. I guess coaches are bigger than that. Have a very nice day, everyone, and look at the results we achieved. We have a perfectly decimated ancient city portal, and just please, everyone, beg Mojang not to add a use yet. Just if they add a use, it will break my heart. Please don't do it. Anyway, plane. Yeah, I guess plane driver is the biggest thing you get. Is there any case where you drive more than 700 people on the same vehicle? You know, usually it'd be like, let's mine the block and then we gotta go. But now what are we gonna do, chat? We got, what do we got now? Ferry. Yeah, I guess if you drive a big boat, actually, like a cruise ship, the ones with like 8,000 people on, that's gotta be the craziest amount of, the craziest number of lives that are in one person's hand. Oh, that's probably why when the one guy abandoned his ship, it's such a big deal. Anyway, speaking of a big deal, here I am, mining the final one. Train driver. It's not often you get more than 1,000 people on a train, right? Like, maybe a full train carriage is 80 people. And then, like, maybe you get 12. I think the Eurostar is 16. Are there 1,000 people on the Eurostar? That's crazy if there's more people on that than a train. Anyway, quick, someone else become a member, says Taurus Pomacevi. If someone became a member, they would ruin my pattern I've got going on here. It'd be terrible. Well, which one would we mine, chat? Okay, so I'm gonna end it as soon as I can off. This block is mine. We're gonna go through it. I'm gonna do my quick goodbyes, bounce out before anyone does anything. But if we had to mine another block, which one do you think it would be? That's the real question here. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm glad that you enjoyed watching me mine reinforced Deepslate. And if this makes you think about considering art, then don't do it. What you should do instead is say, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Try not to drive any spaceships out there. And I'll see you in the next one where at some point, I have to make this work, chat. Make sure you stay tuned to find out how. Goodbye.